Hello learners, I welcome you all in today's NIOS live program. In today's program, we are going to discuss about economy, its meaning and types. Okay, part 2. You just recall the previous program in which we discussed about part 1, under which we have seen that what is the meaning of economy, what are the characteristics of economy, what activities are performed in different types of economy. But over here we are just going to discuss about the remaining part of the chapter, which are as follows. Before discussing the various subtopics of the chapters, I would like to once again point out the objective of the lesson which we are going to discuss today's live program. Okay, so see, after completing this lesson, you will be able to understand the meaning of an economy, differentiate between various types of economy, meaning of economic development and economic growth, distinguish between economic development and economic growth, and the important determinants of economic development. Okay, so what I mean to say that during the discussion we will see that how these objectives are being fulfilled, because they are a brief collection of the entire subtopics of the chapter, the lesson. So let us move further and start first. Determinants of development. Just recall the previous program, or on the basis of your study, whatever you have gone through your textbook, that what is the basic difference between economic growth and economic development? Okay, just recall, what do you understand? Why do we make category of economic growth and economic development? Growth has a very narrow concept, because generally growth indicates the volume of goods and services produced in an economy. It means that it is quantitative in nature. What does it mean? Whenever an economy is producing too much goods and services, then the economy is attaining the different levels of economic growth. But that particular economy is enjoying the stage of economic development. What will be your thinking? In what way you understand? Now, your response will be no. Why? What is the reason behind this? Why your responses are like this? No. That economy is not attaining the level of economic development. Although both concepts are interrelated to each other, but there must be some difference. What we say that? Rather we can use the term whole and part concept, isn't it? Like economic development is the complete picture of development, and a very small fragment of economic growth lies in the body of economic development. See how? Let me explain this. I have drawn a circle, okay, and a small circle. In other way, such type of diagram, you are saying that Venn diagram, okay. What the bigger circle is indicating? This is indicating economic development. Economic development. And what this circle is indicating? Economic growth. This is what we understand under these two concepts, which we discussed this concept in previous program. Or your textbook is having sufficient material. On the basis of this discussion, we can say that growth is a quantitative in nature. Suppose this circle is becoming bigger, but within the range of इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट, बहुत बड़ा हो गया सर्किल है, ग्रोथ बहुत ज्यादा हो रहा है इकोनॉमी का, बट व्हाट इट इंडिकेट्स दैट द पीपल आर नॉट एबल टू attain the level of welfare and not, well equipped with technological advancement, technological equipments, which gives a new wave to economic growth, and these two things are considered to be ingredient to attain the level of economic development. Agreed? So on the basis of this, we can say that, conclude that the both concepts are maintaining the relationship that is whole and part. Okay, so this is the, quite essential to discuss and recall at this moment, because we are going to move further and we have taken the topic economic development. So, the technological progress, good education, longevity, welfare of the human being, all these the various ingredients which determine the level of development. You see, why some of the country is considered to be the developed economy? On what basis you can say that? Why so many times? सोए भी रहो, जगे भी रहो, लेटे भी रहो. अगर डेवलपमेंट की बात होगी तो फर्स्ट एग्जाम्पल comes in your mind and you say USA like that. What does it mean? Why USA? Why not India? Why not other countries? चलो मेरा मन है कहने का अफगानिस्तान. But you people deny the facts. Now you might be saying like that, don't know about the economic development like that, the concept of economic development. Then just think over it. What are the various ingredients which make an economy developed economy? And economic development is growing, moving in a very faster rate over the period of time. Just recall, go through the historical aspect of the technological progress. स्पेस की बात करो, कंप्यूटर की बात करो, लैपटॉप की बात करो, एजुकेशन की बात करो, जिस किसी भी सेक्टर्स की बात करो, now you will find the origin of these sectors in USA. In this context, I would like to discuss one thing, quote one thing, like most of the learners, aspirants might be having their goal to join MBA courses after 12. Will do BBA, will do BBA and so many at graduation level and after graduation. Now, such a discipline is very much lucrative and popular in present situation. But can you trace back when the concept, where the concept was originated as a discipline? Because the first experiment was done during the, in the military base of USA. वहां से इसकी शुरुआत होती है और लोग मैनेजमेंट के तरफ मूव करते हैं, जो पूरे 100 साल, 125 साल बाद हमारी कंट्रीज में आया. 1876 के आसपास का इसका वो ओरिजिन है, ट्रेस है, जिसके आधार पर हम कह सकते हैं. नाउ यू सी, वी आर द फॉलोअर. Why is it so? Because the country like USA has attained the level of development and still the country is trying to attain. Because we don't go in a detail, so many topics are there which are to be discussed over here. So keep in your mind that such type of thinking and such type of rationality is quite needed to understand the concept of development, under which we can say that so many things, so many ingredients are there which you might have seen in your previous discussion, or all these things have been already pointed it out in your self-learning material. You can go through and you can find it out. But this is the second part of your what we say that topic. So let us see what the topic is saying. Determinants of economic development. Natural resources. Capital formation, technology and human resources. These are the various determinants which makes an economy developed economy. Let us see the first, natural resources. That is quite obvious. जिस कंट्री के पास जितना ज्यादा एबंडेंस में नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज होगा, उसकी इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट और ज्यादा होगी. but there is a contradiction कि केवल नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज होने से बहुत ज्यादा डेवलपमेंट होगा, तो देन इंडिया इज नोन एज प्रचुरता में निर्धनता। ये स्लोगन किसके साथ दिया गया था? बहुत पहले किसी इकोनॉमिक्स ने पॉइंट आउट किया था इस चीज को, जो कि एकदम रॉन्ग बेसिस था और वो कुछ जस्टिफाइड भी था, क्योंकि इन अर्ली डेज we were lacking a lot to develop technology to extract our mines and minerals and utilize the natural resources for the comforts and facilities of our life. So, because of the lacking of technological advancement, this slogan was formulated for India. But now, over the period of time, we are just overcoming the situation, and let us see that some new slogan might be designed and formulated in 21st century. We hope that. So, I mean to say that कि natural resources जिस कंट्री के पास जितनी ज्यादा होगी वो एक डिटर्मिनेंट के रूप में साबित होगा, क्योंकि उस कंट्री की डेवलपमेंट और ज्यादा होगी. जस्ट रिकॉल एंड सी द एग्जांपल ऑफ गल्फ कंट्रीज. They are sometimes known as petroleum countries. Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, and so many other countries, small countries are there, where they are the people who are enjoying the God gift in terms of petroleum. But can we say that these countries are economically developed? No. Economic growth has taken place over there, but they are not in the category of developed economy, and the economic development is not found in these countries. So this is the best example to understand economic growth and economic development. Now, next to this, capital formation. What does it mean? Excess of income over consumption gives rise to saving, isn't it? When this saving is accumulated, what we find? These savings are accumulated. These are called investment. When investment is made to establish tools, machine, equipment for further production of other goods and services, the overall process is known as capital formation. So, it is also a very important determinant for economic development. Next to this, human resource. Nowadays, in this century, we are very much aware about human capital, human resources, because it indicates to us the efficiency and skills of the human being to utilize the different types of resources, whether the resources are of man-made or the natural resources, to produce goods and services and to attain a better standard of life over the period of time. So, it also plays a very important role, and the overall credit goes to technology, because it is a precondition of economic development. Technological advancement makes our life quite easy. You might be able to find the importance of technology during the period of Corona pandemic, because everything was going on except the movement of human being from one place to other. It means that online education facilities, online service availability, means of enjoyment through internet and televisions. Okay. What we were lacking? Only physical production have not been seen during the period. But the activities which are based on the services we have seen, and how it could be possible just because of technological advancement. So these are in broader things. We can take so many examples in our day-to-day life for elaboration of the topic. So these four ingredients you must be having in your mind to explain as a determinants, because these four ingredients determine the level of development of any economy in the world. Okay. Economic growth. What does it mean? Which we have already discussed about. Economic growth is an increase in the production of economic goods and services compared from period of time to another. It can be measured in nominal or real terms. Okay? Two terms are over here. Nominal or real. See, the definition is saying what we have discussed already, but two terms are over here we have to understand. Nominal means that is measured in the terms of the current money. That is on the nominal scale. प्रिवेलेंट तुम्हारे मनी की परचेजिंग पावर क्या है, उसके आधार पर हम नॉमिनल वैल्यू कैलकुलेट करते हैं इकोनॉमी के अंदर गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज के प्रोडक्शन को. बट व्हाट अबाउट द रियल? दैट इज नॉट इन टर्म्स ऑफ मनी, इन टर्म्स ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज. सो इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ कैन बी मेजर्ड ऑन बोथ द बेसिस. Rather, we can say that current year price and base year price. That the real measurement of the growth indicates the production of goods and services over the period of time. That is why this term has been used. Economic growth, it means that basically the indication of the growth of the production of goods and services. But nominal is saying only about the measurement of the value of these goods and services at current price, prevalent price, which we are purchasing in our present situation. This is called nominal scale. Clear? So, economic growth involves both the scale to measure the economic growth of the country. It indicates that there is an increase in the terms of income or of the goods and services. Clear? Let us move. Economic development. Have a look on this. Economic growth was indicating the quantitative aspects, quantitative changes. Again and again it is talking about the growth. Growth of what? Growth of goods and services. But here what we see that in mathematical form it is written economic development is economic growth plus quality of life. No need to explain and define and so many things. You learn the definition from the examination point of view, but from understanding point of view, from the knowledge point of view, from the इस चीज को हम कैसे समझें, अपनी कंसेप्ट को डेवलप कैसे करें, इसके लिए बहुत शॉर्ट फॉर्म में लिखा हुआ है कि इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट इज इक्वल टू इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ प्लस क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ, which we discussed earlier in the beginning of the topic. Quality of life depends upon educational attainment and health facilities and increase in the production of goods and services and etc., which improves our living, qualitative living. So, other ingredients are also there, like advancement of technology. Let us take a small break, and after that we will continue to understand the basic concept of economic growth and economic development.
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने, धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो, धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो। कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय के लोट से युक्त हो, कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोट से युक्त हो। मित्रों हम पढ़े और जागे, मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने, राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय का है द्वार खुला सबकी खातिर। शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर, शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर, दुनिया में इसके केंद्र बात, कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने, कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने, हम
Okay, learners, let us start the remaining aspect of the topic. So, what we were discussing, the concept of economic growth and economic development. Let us move further and see. Now, we are going to discuss about the differences and similarity between economic growth and economic development. It means that the comparative study, some differences are there, some similarities are there. So, on the basis of the previous discussion, we will be able to draw the line of demarcation and establish the coordination between economic growth and economic development. It does not mean that कि हम डेवलपमेंट की बात तो कर लें और ग्रोथ को इग्नोर करते हैं, ऐसा नहीं है. बिकॉज यू माइट हैव सीन इन द इक्वेशन, इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट इज इक्वल टू इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ प्लस क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ. एंड वी हैव अंडरस्टूड बोथ द कंसेप्ट. सो ऐसा नहीं है कि हम लोग केवल डेवलपमेंट की ही बात करेंगे. Growth is the precondition for moving further on the scale of economic development. Let us see, this topic talks about the economic development and economic growth. क्या क्या differences हैं? Now, after this discussion, you might be able to identify the various criteria, ingredients on the basis of which you can make difference. Where what we see that in first column the different criteria have been given, and in the first economic growth, and on the other column what we see that economic development. First is meaning. So simple way to define both the term. This is the first difference between economic growth and economic development. Next to this, factors. Okay, so let us see that. What are the various factors which are affecting economic growth? It talks about growth relates to gradual increase in gross domestic product. Do you know what do you mean by the gross domestic product? GDP, which includes consumption, government spending, investment, net export. It means that these are the four ingredients, four elements which constitute aggregate demand. Total demand क्या है? Because the demand is the concept of expenditure side. So what we say that consumption, government expenditure, investment and net export. In short form, we can have in our mind in that way. See, gross domestic product. In other way, we can say that AD. This is aggregate demand. Who are making expenditure? Household plus producers Okay. How we can write this? In the terms of investment plus government expenditure plus net export X minus M. This is in the equation form. To keep in your mind, to recall the concept in that way. So, gross domestic product is known as AD. This is what we say there. Gross domestic product. In short form, it is known as GDP. Gross means total, domestic means within the country, product means production of goods and services. Whereas, what are the various elements under economic development? This gives focus on human capital. This gives focus on human capital. Decrease in inequality figures and a structural quality of the population. Growth of human capital. The most important aspect of economic development was people are not literate, not educated, not having knowledge, skills, not comprehending the situation, then in that country, the country cannot progress, cannot understand what is the quality of life, how they can maintain a better standard of living. जब हम लोग बहुत छोटे थे तो उसमें एक समय एग्जाम्पल हमारे पेरेंट्स दिया करते थे. अब तो पता नहीं, आई डोंट नो, situations have been changed over the period of time. क्योंकि हम जिस इलाके में रहते थे, अगर वहां पे एक दो बंगाली फैमिली है, जैसे वेस्ट बंगाल का एग्जाम्पल देते थे, although they were earning a very less amount of money, but they were maintaining a very good quality of life. And they were, recall, and they are considered to be the setting up of a good example for the society. But what we have seen that over the period of time, now qualitative changes have taken place in our country also. धीरे धीरे ये एग्जाम्पल खत्म होता चला है. But still a lot of things we have to learn. कैसे हम एक good quality of, because what are the various things, various factors? Human capital, reduction in inequality. Zamindari system was there in our economy, our country, and people were practicing. जो downtrodden people थे, they were facing a lot of problems from their so-called zamindars at that time, landlords. Which have been changing over the period of time. So now what we see there, now we are in better position to attain the level of development, and we are just moving in upward direction. And we hope that one day will come when we attain the height of quality of life. So these are the various ingredients. Economic development leads to qualitative as well as quantitative changes in the economy, which I told you in the form of equation. Let us move further. Fourth is effect. See, economic growth brings quantitative changes in economy and economic development brings qualitative and quantitative changes both in the economy. And the fifth point is relevance. Economic growth reflects the growth of the national per capita income. नेशनल इनकम को ये इंक्रीज करेगा, बिकॉज नेशनल इनकम डिफाइंड एज द मनी वैल्यू ऑफ ऑल गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज प्रोड्यूस्ड इन एन इकोनॉमी ड्यूरिंग द पीरियड ऑफ एन अकाउंटिंग ईयर. एक साल के अंदर, एक फाइनेंशियल ईयर के अंदर जितनी सारी भी गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज प्रोड्यूस होती हैं, इट इज नोन एज द कंसेप्ट ऑफ नेशनल इनकम. एंड पर कैपिटा इनकम, per capita income is equal to what? Total national income divided upon the total population. हम एक बंदे की इनकम को कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं कि हमारे देश की पर कैपिटा इनकम क्या है, हमारी इकोनॉमी में पर कैपिटा इनकम कितनी है. We can be able to calculate. So, under this concept, we can. Under economic development leads to qualitative as well as quantitative changes in the economy. Economic development reflects progress in quality of life in a country, for which we were talking and we have spent a lot of time to understand. Let us move further. Is India a developing economy or developed economy? Here I would like to add one thing. In this question, is India a developed economy? We can ask in that way. But still, because of some barrier of the syllabus, content of the syllabus, the heading has been written over there. Is India a developing economy? How? On what basis? इंडिया डेवलपिंग इकोनॉमी है क्या? इंडिया एक विकासशील देश है? ऑब्वियसली बात है भाई, विकासशील देश है. बिकॉज अगर हम विकासशील नहीं होंगे तो देन हाउ इट कुड बी पॉसिबल टू अटेन द लेवल ऑफ डेवलपमेंट. ओके, लेट अस सी एंड अंडरस्टैंड. फर्स्ट इज फीचर्स ऑफ डेवलपिंग इकोनॉमी. And we will see and justify the Indian economy on the basis of these features. Low standard of living. That is quite obvious. The figure is with us that we can be able to quantify the situation of poverty. And we are saying the term BPL, below poverty line. आई मीन टू से दैट कि ये रिपोर्ट के लिए ये सब यूज किया जाना चाहिए, कंसेप्ट के लिए यूज किया जाना चाहिए, बट सम अदर अल्टरनेटिव लाइक दैट. पॉवर्टी लाइन. ओके, सो व्हाट वी से दैट कि लो स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग है, बिकॉज कि हमारे कंट्री के अंदर एक सर्टेन परसेंटेज ऑफ द टोटल पॉपुलेशन जो है वो बिलो पॉवर्टी लाइन रह रही है. दे आर जस्ट मैनेजिंग देयर 2 times मील एनी हाउ. So how they can maintain a good standard of living? So then it indicates to focus on this part to attain the level of development. Second is low per capita income, which I told you earlier. Per capita income can be defined as the ratio between national income and population of the country. So on the basis of this calculation, we can find it out per capita income. Next to this, high rate of growth of population. And these two situations are there in the economy because the growth of population is very much high. Still, people are believing in a traditional way of living. And they are unaware. They don't know what is the impact of a small family on a standard of living. खैर ये बहुत लंबी चौड़ी कहानी है, इसके बारे में डिस्कशन करेंगे तो टाइम कम पड़ जाएगा. सो जस्ट ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड कि कैसे ये एक ऑब्स्टेकल हिंड्रेंस क्रिएट करता है. ओके, नेक्स्ट टू दिस, टेक्नोलॉजिकल बैकवर्डनेस, दैट इज क्वाइट ऑब्वियस. Still we are doing a lot of projects to making our population advanced in technology. We are trying to facilitate them. We are trying to make them develop their awareness, associate them, relate them to understand the technological advancement. Even because India is a country of villages. There the basic facilities, basic infrastructures are not there. They are still lacking a very good health facilities, educational opportunities, civic amenities. They are not in position to. Then, side by side with this infrastructure, it is our duty to make them technologically advanced, and this way we can reduce the extent of technological backwardness. Low social indicators of development. जब डेवलपमेंट के स्केल पे इसे मेजर करते हैं तो उसका इंडिकेटर बहुत छोटा होता है, कम आता है. हाई अनइक्वल इनकम डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, रिच पीपल एंड पुअर पीपल, दिस इज द मैटर ऑफ एंजॉय फॉर सम ऑफ द रिच पीपल. You see, one example is there. Just find it out. But we don't see the mass population is facing a lot of problems. They are below the poverty line. Still government has taken a lot of assistance program, introduced a lot of projects to provide them all the facilities and upgrade their standard of living. But still, that is because population plays very important role to create such a situation in the economy. So it is also the prime duty to us countrymen to keep a control over there and take initiative to reduce the excessive number of population in a family, in a society, in the region or in our country. Healthy, highly unequal income distribution, that is why the distribution of income is unequal. There are so many categories: low income people, middle income people, high income people, rich people, industrialists, so many categories are there in our economy. low level of productivity and low level of capital formation. What do you mean by productivity? Efficiency to produce. Because the health facility is not there, education is not there, technological, all these things are correlated to each other. On the basis of these elements, we can make justification in the explanation of this point. That is why, and all these things are found in our economy. That is why India is a developing economy. But still, so many efforts have been taken over the period of time to reduce the extent of income distribution, to increase the standard of living, to provide health facilities, to increase the level of capital formation, and so many things. But where we are just failing right now, in decrease the number of population. Because the social ideologies are associated with this point. So we need to develop, some social, to reduce the social barriers among populations. Some suggestion to make our economy a developed economy. Okay, we have already discussed about, and one thing I would like to share, just keep all these points in opposite side, we shall be able to attain the level of development. And we can be considered, we will in the queue of developed economy. फिर भी हम इन सारे पॉइंट्स को एक बार देख लें. Once again, let us see what these points are suggesting to us. Improvement in social indicators of development. What are the social indicators? Status of health facilities, quality of education, health and hygiene also, which comes under the category of social amenities. We have to pay attention on these indicators, and some economic indicators also, so that the people should not suffer a lot to meet their daily needs and requirements. Making plans and policies for sustainable development. What do you mean by the term sustainable development? Utilization of resources to meet our needs and requirements. Isn't it? Without compromising the needs and requirements of future generation. कोई दिक्कत नहीं, कोई परेशानी नहीं. हम रिसोर्सेज का यूटिलाइजेशन तो करें, खूब करें, but it does not mean that we should deplete the available resources for the coming generation. Rather, in other terms, we can say that preservation of the resources for meeting the future needs and requirements of our generation, coming generation. This is what we say sustainable development. Time is very less. Let me move further. Change in the social and demographic outlook, which we have already discussed in detail. High standard of living, technological advancement, emphasis on HDI, Human Development Index. Okay. What are the criteria which we have been developing during the discussion and explanation of the entire relation? In short term, it is known as HDI, Human Development Index, which has three components: that education, longevity, and good standard of life. And the last, change in the social and demographic outlook. Recapitulation what we have gone through, you will see the slide and you will find all the things have been summarized of these chapters, and at the end you will find that some questions have been given over here, that this question will give you the opportunity to take your paper, final paper examination and secure a very good percentage of marks. Okay, all the best. Thank you.